Hello.
You look a little bit like John Malkovich.
I know.
Yeah. So the film follows a very shy teenage girl, Lucia, and she's singing in a Catholic choir. They go for rehearsals in one monastery for the weekend, and there things start happening. She starts feeling her body and realizing she has a conflict that is with the society and within her body. So the first time I started thinking about this story was when I saw a concert of a school girls choir of a Catholic school, and there were 30 girls. They were wearing these beautiful clothes. They went on stage and sing a very ancient folk song, Slovenian, and this was such a touching moment for me. Their voices were very open, expressing themselves, and at the same time on the verge of becoming women. So it was very strong feminine energy there. And in the first row, there were 3 priests sitting, also listening and observing. And just this image for me was very important. It touched me very deeply because of the fact that girls' voices and women's voices throughout history was very repressed and not expressed. So then I started researching the voice like an instrument with which we express ourselves. And I went inside the body and started researching the senses. And I wanted to make a very strong sensual movie, like a sensual experience, very tactile, sonoric, and to explain, to explore how a young girl feels in this world. I think all my work is connected and it's about similar topic, just from different angles and different time. I really feel like now that women have a chance to express themselves, that we need to tell all these stories that before were not allowed, and very recently even, not a very long time in history. So we need to talk about it, and because the very conservative part of the world still wants women to be subordinate and to be slaves, but it's very, I mean, we have to go forward in this society somewhere. So I feel it's very important to talk about it. So I was exploring sexual energy as not just an energy which leads you to want to have a sexual intercourse with someone, but as a very important life energy that leads us in our life to some things that we need to in order to grow and to understand ourselves. And not to put it in a box, sexuality is like this or like this or like this, but it is everywhere. And it leads us. So I wanted to really explore these feelings of the body and how we inside us have a lot of things happening inside, not just outside action, what is happening with the relationship, but only more into shift the perspective inwards and see that every moment in our lives, many things happen inside, and sometimes we don't even listen. But if we learn to listen, we understand that there is a little guidance here that tells us what we should do and what not.
Yeah.
I don't like to classify and put things in a box, but I understand that this world needs this classification, that it makes things easier. Because it's not the coming-of-age film. I didn't intend to make a coming-of-age film. I intend to make a film about one moment when one person realized something inside themselves. And it's the same can happen when you're 16 or when you're 45, you know. Especially, I think, when you're making your first feature film, you have you give inside the film all of your life. Since you were a kid till now, when I'm 38, and everything, you know, is inside. And it's not just about coming of age, but about realizing that your body has an intelligence of its own, and sometimes it's stronger than the mind. And we need to learn to understand it better, because a lot of times we work against it, and that creates a lot of problems inside. I think when you're like 16, you start realizing the impacts of the society and the rules. And this idea, this mechanism of shame and of guilt kick in. And your body wants something, and the society wants something from you, telling you what you should be, how to behave. And there you start feeling this inner conflict. I did also when I was, when I was a teenager, I started feeling like that, and I didn't understand it until later in life, that these mechanisms are so constructed. They're not real. And actually some societies and some ancient societies don't know the notion of shame. It is constructed from our patriarchal world. And these mechanisms really don't help people. They repress us in a way. So I thought it's very important to talk about it and to really go deep inside and look at that. I think my work is very intuitive. I start feeling that I need to say something, and I even sometimes don't understand what it is, and then I go for it, and I for example, there were these flowers inside the film that weren't in the script, but I knew I had to have shooting of a lot of flowers, and I knew I will use it, but I didn't know exactly how. So I did that, and there's many moments like that in my creative process, that I just follow this inner voice and I go for it and then understand it. So I chose this choir also because I think anyway it's about music, and music is a language of its own. It's very universal, and it's a vibration, and it can really make you feel, and it's about the voice and expression, which is a kind of an entrance to the body. And also it's a very good metaphor for the society, a choir where everybody needs to follow the rules, otherwise it doesn't work. And it's an amazing, with a lot of girls, a lot of energy, what's happening inside them. I was very curious about the rehearsal process, not only about the final music that they make and they sing, but the moments where they create music, when they reach a harmony and it dissolves and they reach again, and there's a relationship between them at the same time. It's something I didn't see much in films, and I really wanted to, I thought it was amazing how that works, and I wanted to put it on screen. I really like films that don't serve you everything on plate, that make you think and make you collaborate with the artwork. And I think we are very smart, the viewers are smart, they understand the image, what it says, and it gives more emotion, raw emotion, than if you explain someone, okay, it's like this and this. So I want to make films like that, and I get inspiration from many different sources, of course. But I think mostly from the nature itself, because the nature is amazing. If you sit and look at the flower or a waterfall or everything, you just start getting images. And the grape scene was very interesting. A lot of the script was made on set. Not on set, but on location. So when we found the location, I spent a lot of time there. And this monastery and this Cividale is a little city in Italy. Everything was there. The Natisone River, the bridge, the Devil's Bridge, the cave, the waterfall, everything was somewhere around. And I started taking from the monastery itself, from the location, and writing it. And there was this vineyard behind the monastery where there were these grapes that were not yet ripe, were green. And I just thought it would be amazing that these girls eat the grapes, because it's very sensual, this eating. And then it came to me that, if you eat the sour grapes, you really suffer. So it was it became a metaphor for the guilt, the Christian guilt, and and the whole film. like making films. I think it's an amazing thing to do. I love to be on set. It's great experience when you have such nice collaborators and you make a space and create, and some magic comes, you know, that you didn't create it yourself, but it just comes from the whole group, and you catch it on camera, and that's what's amazing. Every moment that is hard, it's because of that, it's not a problem to go through it, because it's other moments are so magical. But I guess the most biggest thing that is hard when you're making your first feature film is this self-doubt, that you are not sure if you're gonna make it good or not or what, and you are a little stressed. But I know that also from my previous film, that if you do something with love and with passion, with good intention, it has to work. So then you try to go over this self-doubt.